Is the flat earth dead?
Yes, my dear, I think it is.
And I'll tell you for why.
Tidy.
Today, we're diving into the curious claim that the flat earth movement is somehow being undermined by a Psyop. So, let's have a look, shall we? Because in reality, the only Psyop at play here is the one trying to convince people that the earth is flat. Am I right? No?
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
And today, we're going to play something. You get to play with something with Lucky called Truth or Roulette.
Oh, round again.
The premise of my channel when I started this channel, of course, was watch out for the flat earth psyop. Any longtime listeners of mine know this. I came out slinging bullets. Watch out for the flat earth psyop. Don't subscribe to any theoretical flat earth rhetoric. Don't subscribe to the pizza with the dome, the AE map, all of these things that people want to make empty claims about.
He's telling us to watch out for different flat earth models that contradict each other. And you know what? He's absolutely right. The true Psyop isn't some shadowy cabal trying to trick flat earthers. It's the sheer, unadulterated inability of the flat earth community to agree on a single, consistent, scientifically viable model of their flat earth. Think about it. When you can't even agree on whether it's a pizza, a disc, or a pancake with a magical force field dome, the problem isn't external espionage. The problem is that reality itself consistently refuses to cooperate with the premise.
All kinds of crazy shit started with my channel when I told you guys unequivocally this is not a guess. The behind the curve thing was a giant piece of propaganda.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything because your opinion is heavily biased towards the earth being flat. So of course flat earthers are going to hate behind the curve because it showed just how ridiculous the flat earth belief is.
Anyone ever told you the earth is flat?
Now, I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody like you guys all want me to. If anybody had their truther mind working during this Will Duffy final experiment thing, you should have been paying attention to what it really was, which was a propaganda campaign.
No, it wasn't. It was a trip to Antarctica paid for by Will Duffy to show some flat earthers and some globe earthers that the sun does actually stay in the sky 24 hours a day. And again, you don't like the final experiment because it disproved your... It proved you were wrong.
The flat earth community reacted exactly as they knew they would.
Yeah, we all knew how they'd react as well. Exactly as they have reacted. A bit like this.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
And the flat earth community itself became part of the show that was exploited for propaganda to the weak-minded and gullible masses. Does that make any sense?
Now, in the scientific world, when an experiment produces data that contradicts your hypothesis, you typically reevaluate your hypothesis. Or, if you're a flat earther, you declare that this meticulously set up and independently funded experiment was actually a psyop designed to make you look silly. Well, newsflash, flat earthers. You do a fine job of that yourselves. You do not need any help from any outside forces. So the next time you're going to claim that the final experiment was a psyop, maybe consider the possibility that it wasn't, and that you're just plain old-fashioned wrong.
Why did you notice a lot of channels just shut up and disappeared? Well, because
the final experiment demonstrated unequivocally that there is no possible chance that the Earth is flat.
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth.
He's a useless shite, that boy.
How about we keep both our feet on the ground and know that that cannot be a coincidence? If you think it's a coincidence that the Beyond the Curve crew, Globebusters, was the same two guys, the protege of the one who passed away, rest in peace, God bless his soul. Super nice guy. I am not here to rip on people. If you think it's a coincidence that that several years later we have this a mockery campaign that starts off as like a game show and weeds through all the flat earthers worldwide and ends up with the 2 globe busters guys again.
Well, that was a lot, wasn't it? But this is just a masterclass in internal paranoia. So you're saying now that the supposed Psyop isn't just external forces trying to mock flat earthers, but it's now also metastasized to infect 2 very prominent members of the flat earth community itself. He's suggesting that the mere presence of those prominent flat earthers, and we all know he's talking about Jeren and Whitsitt, whose experiments famously failed to prove a flat earth, is proof of a grand orchestrated manipulation of reality, just to fool us all into thinking we live on a globe.
Interesting. Interesting there.
Beyond the Curve did more damage to the flat earth movement than anything since that I'm aware of since 2014.
So we've spent the first half of this video talking about the final experiment and why it was terrible for the flat earth, and now you suddenly can't remember anything that's done as much damage to the flat earth as Beyond the Curve did, or Behind the Curve, sorry, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't even care. I think the final experiment may have hurt the flat earth a little bit, on account of it proving that it isn't.
People are waking up faster than ever, man. The truth can't be stopped. We all know this.
Exactly. Then why are there so many grown men on YouTube claiming to believe that the earth is flat?
Because 4-channel content creators are now doing a reverse propaganda technique. Is that, that's going to make the world think, oh, look at that. All the flat earthers have said it's a globe now. No, folks. Real flat earthers already know the earth is flat.
Tell me you think flat earth is important without saying that flat earth is important. You're kind of right, though. A few flat earthers come into their senses wasn't exactly the lead story on any of the news channels that did cover TFE. And as such, the world, the place we all exist together, well, the world doesn't give a crap about flat earthers. Nobody does. You're just comedy to the people who watch you, with a few dipshits thrown in who actually believe you.
Special Officer Doofy reporting.
It's not a belief.
It is until you come up with some concrete proof that the earth is actually flat.
Flat earth is about not using theories.
Or science. Or your brain. Or good old-fashioned common sense.
Flat earth is about actual demonstrable science. If you ever figure out the difference as a globe earth believer, if you're ever willing to put your boots on the ground and understand the difference between theoretical science and actual demonstrable science, you too have a chance in joining with the thinkers and trying to relay to other people that this world is not what you think it is.
I doubt most flat earthers' boots have ever left their living rooms. And let's just address this boots on the ground concept, shall we? Because last I checked, scientists, explorers, cartographers, sailors, pilots, and literally anyone who's ever stepped outside their front door and looked further than the end of their driveway have been putting their boots on the ground for centuries. And what did we find time and time again? Well, we found ships disappearing hull first over the horizon. We found that constellations change as you travel north or south. We found that you can fly west long enough to end up back where you started without falling off the edge. We've even strapped our boots to rockets and blasted them into space, from where we've taken millions, if not billions of pictures and videos of a big blue rotating sphere. So when he talks about boots on the ground versus advice, perhaps he's unaware that our advice is just the summary of hundreds of years of demonstrable science performed by people whose boots and eyeballs were very much on the ground, and at sea, and in the air, and in space.
All those people are super nice guys. Austin Whitsitt, super nice guy. The Globebusters people, super nice guys. Jaron, super nice guy. Wonderful folks. However, that doesn't distinguish from the facts, folks, that the Beyond the Curve crew is, or the Globebusters crew has taken place in the two largest piece of anti-flat Earth campaigns that we have seen and probably will see. I mean, it'll be a long time before we
waste tens of thousands of dollars trying to prove to a group of people something which has been an established scientific fact for thousands of years. And I've got to ask, is Jaron still a super nice guy? You know, on account of him no longer believing that the Earth is flat?
Sometimes you are wrong in life. And I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it.
By the way, for any of you that fell for this horseshit that Will Duffy was setting out to go to Antarctica to prove that the Earth is a ball.
And there it is, which makes the rest of that Jaron clip very relevant.
I realized that I'll be called a shill for just saying that. And you know what? If you're a shill for being honest, so be it.
No, folks, he's a propaganda agent. He still has a channel, does he not? No, he set out to make a propaganda channel, folks. I mean, stop putting your own head up your own anus and just snap out of the trance and understand what the media platform is for.
Oh, right. So you're talking about Will Duffy then. My bad. I thought you were still bumping your gums about Jaronism. But yeah, again, obviously you all hate Will Duffy because he financed the experiment that embarrassed the entire flat Earth community.
Folks, it is to direct humanity, to control and contain humanity.
And Will's achieved all that by himself. Amazing. And I've got to ask, and I'm not sure that I've asked this before, but even if by some miracle it turned out that we are all wrong and the Earth is actually flat, what difference would it make? Why do they need to hide the fact that according to you, the Earth is flat? I don't get it, and I don't think anybody gets it. There is no advantage to the Earth being flat. In fact, it's the exact opposite of an advantage.
So it's all propaganda. Will Duffy, of course. Paid propaganda agent, of course. All of it, folks. Beyond the Curve, TFE. Give me a break if you think any of that was organic.
What the hell are you talking about? Who said it is or isn't organic? What does that even mean? By organic, I assume you mean they just got to do whatever they felt like when the cameras were rolling. Well, no, they were making a documentary for Netflix, so there would have been structure to it. But that doesn't mean that anybody is hiding the real shape of the Earth.
You are one hell of a coincidence theorist. That's all I got to say.
Nah, I see what you did there. Coincidence theorist. I like it. I'll probably steal it. But the fact that some of the same people who participated in Behind the Curve were the same as some of the people who participated in the final experiment also doesn't mean that your vivid imagination gets to fill in the blanks and claim that there's some secret society pulling everybody's strings who isn't a flat earther.
Folks, the good news is there's been no damage done to the flat earth. It's all a shit show on the internet. You have paid opposition channels flipping their narrative and using doublespeak and massive amounts of fallacies to fool the gullible, weak-minded, dumbed-down masses.
This is so much fun. But let's address this magnificent claim of no damage done to the flat earth. But he's absolutely right, you know. It's incredibly difficult to inflict any damage upon something that was never structurally sound to begin with. You can't damage a belief system built on misrepresentations and willful ignorance any more than you can punch a hole in a cloud. The flat earth model, because that's all it'll ever be, is a model, was damaged the second the ancient Greeks started measuring shadows. The only damage we're doing is shining a light on flat earth's inherent, fundamentally, laughably obvious flaws. Oh, bloody hell. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for episode 24 of The Creaky Blinder Show. Or if you don't like that, I'll see you on Wednesday. Love you. Buy.
Out of everything that's on the internet, this is the best thing.
Oh yeah, and before you sneak off, if it was you who stole my trainers and high-vis jacket, you can run, but you can't high heat.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever.